part of it just investing in smaller farms, encouraging that?
I think the silver lining in all of this is how do we, in our backyards, we've got chickens too in our backyard, how do we solve for something like this? And people are sort of looking around thinking, wow, well, maybe I could get a chicken in my...
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Sam Seder going in on MAGA. MAGA is going to continue to spew nonsense. Sam Seder is not here for it. Let's get into it.
On Joe Biden. And if you look at the data in terms of inflation, inflation was basically under control. Economically, it looked like we had basically achieved soft landing. And literally within 6 weeks, Donald Trump has set the stage for a potential recession. And not just a recession, but like some form of stagflation, where we still are getting prices going up. Now, it remains to be seen what's going to happen with these tariffs. The easiest explanation is this is just a way for him to sort of like either crash to go long or short on various commodities or investments that would be sensitive to tariffs in some fashion. The prospect that they're going to be imposed, and then the fact that they may never develop.
And this is not to say that the economy was good for everybody and the Democrats didn't fail in some ways. Like, housing is absolutely unaffordable right now at record levels in terms of the percentage of people's income. And we just hit a record in terms of credit card debt. So like but the problem is that the Biden administration was trying to do some things via antitrust and enforcement and to make it so that, you know, they weren't running rampant, like just going completely crazed like Trump is letting them do right now. And they're trying to do, like, reverse the good things Biden did on the economy to make things worse, which if it crashes, it doesn't matter to the billionaires as much because they'll just buy up with all the money they have, as we were saying, the depreciated assets and move on with their lives and accumulate their wealth once again.
AP is now reporting Trump grants, this 14 minutes ago, 1 month exemption for U.S. automakers from new tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada. Now, and look, I don't know what, you know, what kind of manipulation that.
And let's not forget who is facing the brunt of all of these issues. We have, it's the American working class everyday citizen who is facing the worst of it. And then below that, you even have the veterans, the people who had served for this country. They're getting even more crapped on because they're losing their jobs. They're losing benefits. It's terrible. If you know anyone who is at the VA, you know, even a little bit, you can see all of the terribleness that's going on in those areas, in those places. It's terrible to see the voices that are actually not being heard.
Like, I mean, this is market manipulation. It is, and we don't know how he's cashing in on it or who is or what, but that's what's happening. Now, with all that said, you're still going to see inflation from this, because if I'm a car manufacturer and I'm, you know, am I going to produce cars? If my production lines in Canada or Mexico or China are they like, I'm going to slow them down.
Right.
Because I don't know how many cars I'm going to be able to sell a month from now in the US if they're going to cost 25% more. And so we're going to start to see this, like, you know, for a long time, we would hear from Republicans, like, the business community needs some predictability. And the idea that you could raise taxes in 3 years, that people don't know how to plan for that. We're really in a predictability crisis right now for a lot of these corporations. And when it comes to addressing the inflation, I've got some very bad news for you, unless you have a big backyard. Egg prices are through the roof because, of course, this administration went over the past 6 weeks has not taken the idea of the bird flu seriously. They started to come around recently. They fired a lot of the people who were in charge of basically containing the bird flu at the USDA. They had to rehire them to the extent that anybody was like, I'm not going to go back into that meat grinder. They recently allocated $1 billion, apparently, to dealing with the bird flu. But, you know, one of the things about these type of like potential epidemics is that you got to get them early. But in terms of inflation, Brooke Rollins, who is the agriculture secretary, wasn't she the former lobbyist for like the seed company, or is that somebody else?
The deputy that she appointed was that.
Here she is explaining to Fox News how this whole egg problem is easily overcome.
Well, I have chickens in my backyard. Sean started that.
Yes.
And yesterday I went out.
And before we get into this clip, I think it's important to say that, you know, there are some people that are not hurting from this economic crisis. They are not. There are some people who will be able to get through this, and it's clear to see. It's like you see the people that are actually thriving off of this. You see the man that's doubled his complete net worth. You see Elon Musk has completely doubled his worth since Trump has been in office. You see Zuckerberg completely. We are now, and your average conservative is going to say, oh, well, they deserve it. They're saving the American country. For sure. I'm glad we're now in an oligarch. Like, this is exactly how the people in, those systems think. This is royalty. Of course they deserve that. I mean, I could only dream of that one day, maybe in my next life. Yeah, we've now completely gone full circle.
Now, they just started laying, and yesterday I got 5 eggs. I guess my question, if you could make it just really quick because I'm out of time, is part of the solution more small farms? Because when avian flu hits and you have these giant industrial farms and these chickens, which I don't think the eggs are as good anyway, is part of it just investing in smaller farms, encouraging that?
I think the silver lining in all of this is how do we, in our backyards, we've got chickens too in our backyard, how do we solve for something like this? And people are sort of looking around thinking, wow, well, maybe I could get a chicken in my backyard. And it's awesome. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think everyone who isn't a farmer right now wants to be. So you're in the right department, Brooke.
I am. What a blessing. Thank you.
Okay, so
that is so wonderful. Brooke
Sean.
Rollins. But they all got they got so much room for their chickens, and I'm sure she was out there this morning doing her chores around the farm before she went into work. I'm sure both of them were. I'm sure they don't have any help on there in their own little
Do you know who she's
backyard
referring
farm.
to?
Who?
Sean, her husband, is the transportation secretary.
Well, I told
Sean
John.
Duffy.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Brooke
yes.
Rollins, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
My husband, your colleague.
Yeah, my
Your
husband,
cabinet-
who's literally a
cabinet
part of the
member.
administration I'm supposed to be covering. There's like very little this is one of my pet peeves, honestly. It's like the people that I talk to that say, well, why get a hamburger from McDonald's when you could get a banana and make your food for the week and it would be more cost effective. They have no idea how regular people live. First of all, if you have to work multiple jobs, the idea that you can make this kind of meal for yourself is insane. People need protein-rich, fast food if they're unable to like have leisure time, which is basically what the Republicans have ensured because they don't want to raise the minimum wage. They want to slash labor protections. They want to increase income and wealth inequality. So like,
Well, eggs have a lot of protein.
they do. So
Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland are making good points. I know some places the motherfucking oven doesn't even work in the house, and the landlord don't do shit about it. So it's like, what the fuck are they wanting to say? They say, oh, just go, just save money, just make it. I can't even cook in my kitchen, bruh. This is like getting to pretty shitty fucking standards, dude. I mean, like, excuse my French, but I'm just saying. I mean, like, Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland, they're making a great point that, it's like, this is not as simple as, let me go buy a chicken and put it in my backyard. That's crazy.
if you can make an investment in yourself, first of all, you got to buy a house with a big enough backyard, and you better checking with your town to make sure that it's you're allowed to have farm animals in your area. You better have the time in your day to take care of them. You could lobby. And build a chicken coop. Invest in yourself. Build a chicken coop in your backyard, because then you can see them laying the eggs, and you don't know, like, there's no wokeness injected or anything like that.
See, Emma, maybe you're just too lazy. Maybe you just don't believe in yourself.
There we have it, you guys. It's Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland, making fun of these Fox hosts. They're couldn't be more out of touch with a certain group of people, which is expanding, and that's the people that can't afford shit and can't do shit about it currently until something big happens. I don't know what that's going to be, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.